Good. What day is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Jump day for Wednesday, the 16th. All right, let's go. Well, as far as official setups, let's stick with this UNM. It is kind of a deep retracement, but I do like these high level potential shorts as opposed to those in longer term downtrends, especially during this phase of the market. Go ahead and bump your stop on AGI just a little, but it kind of creeps along, or it's kind of creeping along, I should say. Here's a UNM. I know it's kind of a deep retracement, but it is into this gap, and I still think it has potential. Again, we want to kind of try to focus mostly on these first leg down type of stocks, and the ones that I have in here are at somewhat higher levels compared to a lot of other ones that I went through tonight. And there's tons and tons of stocks out there, but a lot of them are pulling back in longer term trends. So for now, let's focus on those at higher levels, specifically UNM for now. And then obviously I'll reevaluate this on a day by day basis. We should see a plethora of shorts, or we'll continue to see a plethora of shorts, I should say. Let's take a look at the portfolio, and then we'll pop out to the overall market. AGI did set the world on fire, but it did manage to close at all-time high, so I'm not going to argue with that. If it gets fairly close to that IPT, again, don't split hairs. CCL, a little bit of a bounce, but still looks like it's in trouble longer term. And finally, TPR, also up a smidge on the day, but again, still looks like it's in trouble longer term. This is another one that's still at fairly high levels and has a long ways to go. Let's take a look at the overall market and drill down a bit. First of all, let's take a look at the P's. S&P 500, really not much to talk about. A really narrow range bar. It always shocks me when there's so much going on in the world and then you have such a narrow range bar. So far, just pulling back, still well below the 50 and the 200-day moving average, and so far remaining in a shorter term downtrend. Take a look at NASDAQ. Same sort of action happened there, too. Pretty much Flatsville on the day, down a smidge if you squint your eyes. Death cross, again, happened here about a week ago, so that's kind of interesting type of development. S&P 500 also a death cross. Take a look at the Rusty 2000. Not a lot to report there so far. Just pulling back like a lot of these other areas. The EFA shares have had quite the retrace. I wouldn't get too excited about them just yet. You know me, until Les had baked some new highs, I'm not going to get that excited. But they have obviously improved as of late. Gold, the commodity, hanging in there right here, just shy of all-time highs. Gold stocks actually made it to all-time highs. So it's kind of interesting. Going through the goals today, and I was in a webinar earlier, I'm kind of amazed at the amount, the legs that the gold stocks have made as opposed to historical type of moves in the gold stocks. So hopefully that made sense. But they're behaving more and more like tech momentum stocks, like biotechs and stocks like that. Anyway, broker-dealer, so far just pull it back. The list goes on and on. We could play this game sort of all day, right? Cyber security, so far just pull it back. Looks like it's in trouble longer term. Ditto for biotech. Let's take a look at CIBIs. Again, the list goes on and on. A lot of these areas have just pulled back and still look like they could be in trouble longer term. Insurance basis KIE. It had stalled shy of its prior high in here, and so far it's just pulled it back. The insurance major bigs, there it is, a little bit different picture. This sharp sell-off followed by this deep retracement, but you can see it begin to stall out, or begin to stall out a little bit today, so that retracement might be over. So let's continue to focus on just that one short. Let's let things shake out a little bit. Let's see what new setups show up, and again, as usual, take things one day at a time. Everybody have a fantastic night. We'll talk tomorrow. Thank you so much.